All right, we are live. It's 1:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
The brackets are out. The best time of the year, the best day of the year, most underrated sports day of the year. We are going to go through every first round game, going through the top left of the bracket all the way down, moving to the top right all the way down. We're going to go through. We're going to talk about teams we like, upsets, spreads, totals, you name it. We're going to go there. All right, let's start off with the first four. Texas A&M.
Stay quarter.
Let's start. What?
I was going to say, these picks are going to be better than anything of the ACC tournament on CarterCast.com.
Whoa. Before we get into before we get into this, my ACC tournament picks finished. If you put 1 unit on all of my picks, I finished at 0.0 units.
How is that even possible over 5 days of basketball?
Because Virginia Tech at 12-1 to win the ACC.
That saved you.
If that didn't hit, you're down 12 units.
That's okay. All right. You know, it's going to be better. You're going to be better.
It's a brand new day, brand new week.
Clean slate.
All right, let's start this off. Texas A&M Corpus Christi versus Texas Southern. We could do about 45 minutes on this game, but we're not even going to talk about it. If you touch this game, like if you're going to do anything, just bet the under, because these games always end up going like 55-51 because they come out tight.
Oh, yeah.
And it's that Tuesday night in Dayton.
Yeah.
If you're going to touch anything, do the under.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I looked into it a little bit. I've seen Texas Southern in many tournaments. Have they been in the first four a lot?
They've been in the first four all the time. That's why I tweeted that out the other day.
Exactly. Well, if I had to pick one, I'm taking A&M Corpus Christi. It's their second overall tournament appearance. And I just feel like I always see Texas Southern there. So it's time for some fresh blood, you know?
I'm going to go with the experience in Texas Southern. They've been to Dayton before. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Let's move on.
I've liked this first four game. I think this is the most entertaining one. Wyoming versus Indiana. Mm-hmm. We have the Hoosiers are minus 3.5 on the spread, over under 131.5. I like Wyoming a lot in this one.
I was about to say the same thing. I feel like Indiana relies way too much on one person for offense.
Exactly. And also, I love Graham Ike on Wyoming. They are good. They ran through that. They ran the Mountain West this year. Boise State also is good. It was a tough Mountain West.
Yeah.
I don't like Indiana. I think they're frauds. They had a nice Big Ten tournament. I think they're going to be happy to be there. In Indiana's defense, it will be a crowd in Dayton for Indiana.
It will. But I was going to say, Indiana had that nice little run to end the season. I don't think it carries over.
And also, if it's going to be a close game, I'm going to take the team at +4, +3.5.
Oh, yeah. Too many points.
Indiana -4 is way too many points against a solid Wyoming team. All right, 100%. Let's move on. Shout out to our guy, Bryant versus Wright State, our guy, Chris Duhon. I mean, it's Bryant money line. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Oh, yeah. That's the only thing I wrote down about this game. # Chris Duhon, our guy, Bryant all the way. I have no
Peter
basis
Kiss
for that
is
pick.
the man. Peter Kiss is leading the country in scoring.
That, and did you see that championship game the other night
when the brawl and everything?
When they had to stop play, I tuned into that just to watch and see what happened. It was insane.
But if Bryant wins, a little sprinkle on Bryant over Arizona in the first round. Just saying.
Oh yeah, I would throw $5 or $10 on that if I gambled, which obviously none of us do on the show. But yeah.
All right, let's move on. Rutgers, Notre Dame. You flip a coin. I'm gonna pick Notre Dame just because I want the ACC to do well. But flip
that. Should Rutgers have even gotten in? I don't want to have this argument, but should Wake or not? I know Wake was next four out, but
Texas A&M I thought deserved to get in over Rutgers.
Yeah, I think Rutgers. Shout out Jeff and Dew. I think he was talking a lot of shit about Rutgers. I don't know. They seem like frauds to me. And plus Notre Dame, they choked in the ACC tournament. They're going to be out for revenge, I feel like. I think they're going to figure it out.
Also, in that Bryant-Wright State game, I know we're jumping here, but Bryant's a dog. +105. Give me that. Over under 151.5 is a lot for a first four game. I don't think a first four game has ever touched the 80s.
No, there's no way. It's always mid-50s.
Notre Dame is +1.5. Over under 131.5. I mean, I would take Notre Dame, but I'm staying away from this one.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's hard to bet on that game.
Okay, let's start off. Let's get into the real bracket now. We're going to start in the West region. Number 1 overall seed, the Gonzaga Bulldogs facing Georgia State. Gonzaga, I had this line at around -30. Gonzaga's only -23.5, and I love Gonzaga in this one. They were huge favorites. They were like minus 25, 26 against a solid teams in the West Coast Conference. I mean, they were minus like 18, 19 against BYU in Provo, and only minus 23.5 in the NCAA tournament against a Georgia State team. I love Gonzaga minus 23.5 here. I think this gets up to minus 25. Over under is 148.5. I would stay away from that because I don't know if Georgia State can actually score against this team.
And here's the thing about Gonzaga is we always, rag on them because they play like, pretty bad competition in the grand scheme of things. They're not in one of the Power 5 conferences. It prepares them perfectly for a first round matchup against a weaker team. They're used to beating up on these bad teams. There's no way they don't win by 30. I might have to eat my words, but
exactly. No, I love Gonzaga minus 23.5. Let's move on. Boise State, Memphis. Memphis is -2 in this one, 8-9 matchup. Over under is 131.5. The 8-9 matchups are brutal this year.
What'd you say the spread was?
-2 Memphis. I like Boise State in this one. I think Boise State, even though they won the Mountain West, they're a little under the radar.
Yeah.
But Memphis has been so much better ever since Amani Bates left.
I was about to say Memphis has been better, but is he coming back? I saw somewhere where like there's an uncertainty whether or not he returns. I don't think he will. I don't really know.
I don't think so.
But I would doubt it at this point. Also, Penny Hardaway is coaching for his career right now. Is that crazy? Maybe not his career, but at Memphis at least.
But the thing is, yeah, and this is another one, like you don't want, like, if you're going to look, a lot of people, they're going to have action on every single game.
Oh, yeah.
If I had to have action on every single game, I'm taking Boise +2 just because I think everybody's going to see Memphis and only say, what, Memphis? Only -1.5, -2. I'm going to hammer them. And so I just think everyone's going to be on Memphis. I'm going to go Boise State.
That's fair. If I had to put money on this, I would go Memphis. I feel like the talent's there. I feel like Penny Hardaway's like, I don't know. Like, he's had a rocky start to the year. I feel like a win would do a lot for that program.
So you're going Memphis?
I would. Yeah, I would.
Do you have over under 131.5? I feel like it's right there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right there, like on the money.
It's going to be like
one. That's not what I would go for.
66, 64, 67, 65, kind of like that kind of game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would stay away from that. I would go Memphis, though.
Okay, let's move on. The number 5 seed UConn versus the number 12 seed New Mexico State. UConn -6.5, over under 132.5. These teams cannot. I love the under at 132.5.
I got that feeling here. I got that 5-12 feeling here, Carter. I can't explain it. It's in my gut.
I like New Mexico State here. The WAC is one of the most underrated conferences. The fact that Utah Valley was a 20-win team and they were the 7 seed in their tournament, it was actually a very strong WAC conference, and they still ran through it.
That's why I picked New Mexico State. I have them upsetting UConn in the first round.
And also earlier in the year, they had a double-digit win over Davidson. They play super hard defensively. It's going to be a dogfight. It is going to be 58-59 final. I like New Mexico State with the points. I don't know if I like them to win or not, but if I had to choose, I think I would. This is a 5-12. You're like, I'm going to pick New Mexico State in this one.
And the only thing that worries me about picking New Mexico State, they have yet to play a top 25 team this year. They did not play one the entire regular season. So how would they fare against better competition? That's my only qualm with that.
Yeah, they play so hard.
Yeah, I agree.
They're not going to let you up from the 3-point line, but
no.
Yeah, I would take under 132.5 is one of my favorite picks in this tournament.
Bet.
All right, let's move on. This is one of the most popular games. Number 4 seed Arkansas, 13 Vermont. Arkansas -5.5, over under 139.5. I love Vermont to win this game. Vermont +5.5.
Really? I don't
Vermont's
know.
Good.
I haven't watched a lot of Vermont this year.
Vermont
watched a lot of that.
Solid. They steamrolled through their conference. I think they only lost 1 game.
I think it says right here they're 17-1 in the conference. Yeah. Here's the thing that Arkansas has been playing pretty good. They've beaten quality teams. They beat Kentucky, split with Tennessee.
Another team that plays with their competition.
Beat LSU 3 times. Only lost to Alabama by 1. I mean, like, they've beaten these quality tournament teams.
They've look who they lost to.
Yeah, that's true. They have 8 losses for a reason.
And also last season, they should have lost to Colgate.
Yeah, they should have.
They, easily should have lost to Colgate. I love Vermont here. I think they take it over. I like Vermont to make it to the winner of this game will be in the Sweet 16. I can promise you that.
I was going to say the same thing.
Even if Vermont wins, and even if UConn wins, if it's Vermont, UConn, I still like Vermont to make that Sweet 16.
Yeah,
I'm
in my eyes,
super anti-UConn in this tournament.
In my eyes, I have New Mexico State beating UConn, so I have them going to the next round. And either Arkansas or Vermont, whoever wins that, I think they beat New Mexico State.
Exactly. Really, and then on that top half of the bracket, it would if it's chalk, it's going to be Gonzaga, Arkansas. Gonzaga's going to walk to the Elite Eight.
That's what I'm saying. Gonzaga does not have that tough path because, hey, hate to say it, but bottom of their bracket's not looking too good either. So, sorry about that. Sorry. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, Vermont plus 5.5 is one of my favorite plays.
Yeah, I think it'll be close. I can 100% see an upset here.
Laying 5.5 is a lot for Arkansas in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's go on to the number 6 seed Alabama. They will face the winner of the 11 seed Rutgers or Notre Dame in the first 4 matchup. I like Alabama no matter who they play.
You see, we talked about this before the show. I'm against you here because I got Notre Dame. If Notre Dame wins the first 4, I got them beating Alabama because they had a horrible ACC tournament showing. I think they come back. Like, they were the number 2 seed in the conference for the reason. I think Nate Oates is a bad coach. I mean, I don't know.
I don't like Rutgers no matter what in each matchup.
See, if Rutgers wins, no, Alabama's going. But I have Notre Dame winning, and I have them beating Alabama.
That's going to be a fun game because it's going to come down to whoever shoots better from 3 is winning that game.
Yeah. God, Notre Dame's just so streaky, it feels like.
And so is Alabama. That's the thing because they just live and die by the 3.
That's a tough one. Obviously, there's no spread yet, but that's a tough one.
Yeah, there's no spread on that one. But let's move on to a game that does have a spread. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Here we go. The number 3 Texas Tech Red Raiders going against the Montana State Bobcats, the 14 seed. Texas Tech is minus 15.5. The over-under is 129.5. I don't have much of an opinion on this game. I don't have a strong one. 129.5 is a little low for me.
I agree. And call me crazy. This is my biggest upset of this first round. Is this 14-3 matchup right here. Texas Tech has been playing down the competition lately, losses to TCU and Oklahoma State. They barely beat Oklahoma. Teams peak at the right time going into March Madness. I feel like Texas Tech is, I don't know the word for it, not peaking at the right time going into March Madness. I know you said you love Texas Tech, though.
I like Texas Tech a lot because they play such good defense. They've got some dogs on that team. Also, but you mentioned it before we started the podcast. We were talking about this game. Mm-hmm. Texas Tech does play down to their competition. That is true, and they play up to their competition. But Montana State, I watched that Big Sky tournament. They're not good.
Well, they haven't played a top 25 team either.
No, and
so it's hard to judge.
They've struggled against teams like Northern Arizona. Shout out Jalen Cone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I like the over because Montana State can score. Even if Montana State can't score, I think Texas Tech disrupts them enough on defense to score at least 75.
That's fair. You know what? Hey, it's March Madness. It's March Madness for a reason. I got Montana State winning the first round. Call me crazy.
All right, I'm going to go Texas Tech. I'm not going to lay the 15.5. I'm not going to pick a side on that one. Let me go over 129.5. Let me write that down.
I like that over.
Okay, perfect. Now we have the 7-10 matchup in the West bracket. 7 seed Michigan State. Let me get this one out for you.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler before you read the spread on this one. I got Michigan State over Davidson, and it's for one reason only. I have the other 3 7-10 matchups. I have the 10 seed winning, so that I can't have a 4th. I can't. That's my reasoning. That might be stupid, but that's my reasoning.
That's fair. But so 7 seed Michigan State versus the 10 seed Davidson Wildcats. Michigan State is favored by 1.5. Over under is 140.5. Money line, Michigan State minus 125. Davidson at plus 105. This is tough. 2 unbelievable coaches.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the thing is, I'm going to pick Davidson for this, and I'm going to probably pick Davidson in my bracket. But Michigan State's going to win this game because they want that storyline. They're going to have Jim Nantz, Bill Rafferty, Grant Hill all there in Greenville. getting ready for Coach K versus Tom Izzo one last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They love storylines in the tournament. We'll
It
get
was
into a couple of them later.
Andre Dawkins. Shout out Andre Dawkins. He even tweeted it out. He tweeted it out 2 days ago. He's like, all right, let's get ready for this Michigan State Duke matchup in the second round.
I saw that. And that you can't write it any better. Tom Izzo, Coach K, one last ride. I do think Michigan State has this one in the bag.
And as a Duke fan, I'm scared of Davidson. I do not want Davidson. Foster Lawyer is super solid, just super efficient. And Hung Ching Lee, however you say it, he's got like a more robotic version of Michael Porter Jr.'s game.
I feel like Davison's one of those teams that Duke could play down to. Underestimate them, go in there like, oh, hey, it's almost like, oh, we wanted Carolina in the ACC tournament final, and so we got VT. Let's play down. Oh, exactly. We want Tom Izzo. We want Michigan State. Let's play down to Davidson if that matchup happens.
And also, it's going to be a pro Davidson crowd in Greenville.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's going to be very pro Davidson. I think that's an underrated aspect. And I know you weren't able to watch the selection show. They showed up. It was, I believe, where is it? It was at the bottom right. When they showed Auburn because Auburn's playing in South Carolina as well, it said Greenville, and it was the 7-10 and the 2-15. I was like, there's no way Carolina just got to play in Greenville as a 7 seed.
Oh yeah, that would have been awesome.
Because it was like last time, because when it was a pro Carolina, I mean, it was 75% Carolina fans, 25% Duke fans, maybe even worse than that when it was South Carolina Duke playing each other.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that on the show before.
But let me go. Over-under's a little sketchy in this one. 140.5. It's going to be around there. I think like 139, 141. And that range. Yeah. I would take Davidson plus 1.5.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I think it'll be close for sure.
But that's a lean. I wouldn't play it. Let's move on. The greatest team in college basketball. Psych. They stink. Can't believe they lost to Virginia Tech. We have the number 2 seed, the Duke Blue Devils, my sweet, sweet Duke Blue Devils. Let me pull this up, get the spread for you.
Do you have an opinion on Duke getting a 2 seed over Tennessee? Is that deserved? I saw a little bit of a backlash on Twitter about that.
I would trade spots with Tennessee in a heartbeat.
I
would trade 100%. Spots with Tennessee in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? I get to be in Arizona and Villanova's bracket. Duke would walk to the Final Four. I think they would have one tough game, and that's against Arizona.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we'll get to that later. But Duke minus 17.5 over under 143.5 over the Cal State Fullerton Titans. Shout out our guy, alum, Brian Valadares went to.
Oh yeah. Fullerton. This is a little grudge match here for the CarterCast podcast.
I know, and not good, but Duke's gonna wax him.
I think so too.
I like Duke a lot in this one. Duke has way more size, athleticism. This Cal State team does not match up well against Duke.
Exactly. And I don't think this Cal State team is not one of those teams that Duke's going to play down to and it matter at all.
And Duke's going to play hard defense in this one. It's going to be 86-60 final. Book it.
Fine. Fair enough.
And so let's talk about the West region real quick. I'm assuming you like Gonzaga to come out.
I do have Gonzaga come out, and you might call me biased for being a Carolina fan. I do have Michigan State beating Duke in the round of 32. I think Duke, like I said before on the show, is one of those teams that can play down to their opponent. Michigan State's one of those opponents that if you play down to them, they will like that. You can't play down to a team like that. Like they can come out on top. I'm not saying it will happen, but I have it picked in my bracket right now. Also in this region, I have Notre Dame winning the next round against Montana State. If that happens, I don't want to get too far into it, but I do have Notre Dame making the Sweet 16 if they make it out of the first 4. That's a bold take. That's a hot take. I understand. But yeah, overall, I have Gonzaga coming out.
So my brain says Gonzaga.
Okay.
But my heart, be still my beating heart. I love Duke going to the Final Four. How am I not going to?
The heart wants what it wants.
Yeah, the heart wants what it wants.
You have to.
I'm delusional. I'm a psychopath. I love Duke. I'm still wearing a Duke sweater after we got pooped on by Virginia Tech. They showed they can beat Gonzaga earlier in the year. Why can't they do it again? They played them so well, and you called that game. When I see Duke plus, like 9-10.5 against Gonzaga in the Elite Eight, I'm going crazy for that because if it's Duke Davidson is the one matchup I'm terrified of.
Here's the
thing.
Don't
want Davidson. I'm not worried about Michigan State though.
Yeah, that's fair. If Duke makes it past round of 32, I really, really do think they can upset Gonzaga. I really do. Because we've said this before, they play up to those better teams. They can beat those better teams.
playing in San Francisco is a huge disadvantage to Duke.
Yeah.
Huge disadvantage, but I'm obviously going to pick Duke to go to the Final Four, probably win it all. But yeah,
Fair.
I have Vermont in my Sweet 16 in that region. I have Gonzaga playing Vermont in a blowout, Gonzaga winning. And then I have Duke playing Texas Tech. I know that's chalk, but I like Texas Tech enough. I think it's going to be Texas Tech, Alabama. I think it's going to be a phenomenal, underrated game. But
so we're very split on the West then. We're very split on the West.
I like it. All right.
I do too. I like a little variety.
Let's move on to the East bracket. Let me pull this up.
Let's get it.
We have Baylor versus the MEAC champs, Norfolk State. If I can find the spread, I don't know where this went. This is awesome podcasting. Here we go. Baylor minus 20.5, over under 137.5. I was looking at this. I was looking at the line.
Yeah.
Yikes. Don't like either thing in this one, because I think Baylor can stop a team from scoring, 60, 55.
Yeah.
But can Baylor score 80? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think so. Not enough to make up.
That's why when a team has a high spread and they can't score that well, give me the dog. Norfolk State plus 20.5. Shout out when they beat Missouri back in 2012, right?
God, I couldn't give you a year on that. Sounds right.
2012, because that was the same night Austin Rivers and Duke lost to Lehigh.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Shout out to Jim McCollum. I was gonna say I think this will be the closest 116 matchup. I don't see any 16 seeds coming out this year, but I think this will be the closest one. I think that's too many points. Oh,
back to the Duke game. I love Duke minus 17.5 and over 143.5. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I love those. I love the spread more than I do the over under. I would not bother with the first half, because you never know how Duke's going to actually come out
flat easily.
You could probably get them on a sweet live bet at the under 4 timeout. Coach K always get the under 4 timeout is beautiful in the first round of the tournament for Duke. But okay, perfect. Baylor minus 20. Yeah, I'm going Norfolk State plus 20.5. Do you have a pick in this one?
Yeah, I like the Norfolk State with the points, because I think 20.5 is too much. Like you said, Baylor, I don't think they can score enough to make up for the lack of scoring that Norfolk State's going to get. Because I'm looking at it right now. Baylor only averages 64 points a game themselves.
They play some damn good defense, though.
Yeah, and I know it's going to be a blowout, but I still don't think it's enough to get there. If I picked in this one, I'm going to have to go with the Norfolk State with the points here. And probably the under as well.
You know what time it is?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk.
We have the number 8 seed North Carolina Tar Heels versus the 9 seed, the Shaka Smart-led Marquette. Carolina is minus 2.5, over under 150.5. Moneyline Carolina minus 145, Marquette plus 120. This game is being played in Fort Worth, Texas.
Carolina has not won a game in Texas in quite some time. I'll just
Shaka Smart has Carolina's number.
That worries me. I do like Marquette as a team matchup. Shaka Smart worries me, and playing in Texas for whatever reason, they can't win in Texas. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't think they've won in Texas since they beat Syracuse in the Final Four. God, that's horrible. But yeah.
It's obviously Carolina minus 2.5 seems too easy.
Give me the Carolina minus 2.5. I really do think this team's figured it out down the stretch. Marquette has no size. Who's going to guard Armando Bacot?
You're not worried after that Virginia Tech game?
No, I'm not.
Not either.
That was coming. We had that coming.
I'm not either, because Duke had that coming too. Dude, Mike Young's the sneaky best coach in ACC basketball.
Good for them, honestly. We haven't talked about it on the show. Good for them for winning. Not even just because they beat Duke. Good for them. No,
I am actually really happy for Virginia Tech. I don't like Hunter Couture. I don't know. I did pick him over 7.5 points. That was the lock of the century at 31.
Got that the first few minutes, yeah. Anyways, I like Carolina 2.5 here.
I like the under 150.5 too. I think that's a lot of points.
I do too. That's especially for a first round game, 8-9. I mean, I think both teams are going to come out a little tight. It's the first round of the tournament.
I really think the final in this one's Carolina 72, Marquette 65.
Yeah, that seems about right. And I do think Carolina's figuring it out down the stretch. And I think, well, we can talk about it a little bit later, but I do think they have a good shot to beat Baylor. That's the best 1 seed that Carolina could have put it with.
Oh my gosh, I was texting you. I was pissed during it because I see Carolina gets in Baylor's bracket. You cannot ask for a better matchup.
Yeah, I agree. It does scare me that like towards the bottom of the bracket, if we even make it that far. Purdue, Kentucky, those are some tough teams.
Well, even the Sweet
UCLA,
16. Yeah,
UCLA
exactly.
is tough. Yeah.
So, all
Yeah,
right,
I like
let's move
Carolina here.
on. St.
Wait.
Mary's. Wait, you have
You
more?
taking Carolina here? You taking Carolina here?
Yeah, I love
Okay.
Carolina minus 2.5.
All right.
I also like the under 150.5, like I mentioned before. Let's move on. St. Mary's versus the winner of Wyoming, Indiana. There's no spread on this one, obviously. Yeah. I like the winner of Wyoming, Indiana, no matter what.
Really?
I don't like this St. Mary's team at all, and I'll tell you
even
why.
Even though they got a win over Gonzaga, does it mean anything to you?
No, because Gonzaga had that. Gonzaga is another one that they had that coming, and then they just blindly walk through the tournament. St. Mary's is Virginia with a bunch of foreigners.
I haven't watched a lot of St. Mary's this year.
They're so boring to watch. Tommy Kruger is phenomenal. He's a great point guard, but he's just like a taller, older Kihei Clark kind of thing.
Oh, perfect.
But what scares me with teams that can't score in the tournament, someone's going to get hot against you. And the fact that this team, whoever you're playing against, Wyoming, Indiana, they already have a game under their belt. They're not nervous. They're not going to be tight. They're used to playing under this national television spotlight for a game. And we always see someone from the first four win in their first round game. I think it's going to be the winner of Wyoming, Indiana, and St. Mary's. If someone gets hot, they're toast because they can't keep up with them.
See, my pick for the first four winning their next game would be Notre Dame. So I'm going to go St. Mary's here. Although you do make a good point.
And I really do like this Wyoming team. I think if they do somehow manage to win in the second round, they're going to get trounced by UCLA.
Oh, yeah. UCLA is a tough 4 seed.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about UCLA then. UCLA, the 4 seed going up against the 13th seed. No. Wait, do I have 13. That right? Yeah, 13th. Sorry.
Yeah, 13.
I can't read to save my life. UCLA minus 14.5 over under 129.5. 14.5 is a lot of points. I'd probably take UCLA. I'd lean that way, but
yeah,
I'm going to go with the over at 129.5. Both teams like to score. Both teams aren't the best defensively. UCLA is going to put up points against this Akron team. Give me the over. 129.5 seems a little low to me.
Give me the over as well, and also give me UCLA on the points. I think they're going to come out in this first game with something to prove. They have the experience. They've been there before. They're obviously a higher seed than they were last year when they made the run.
That Arizona game was phenomenal.
Oh yeah. Oh my.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I love UCLA here.
I don't think there's really much more to talk about in that one. So let's move on. Let me find my paper for this one because this is
a good one.
This is one I'm whatever I tell you right now, I'm gonna flip flop about 15 more times until Thursday. Until Friday when they play. Virginia Tech versus Texas, 6-11 matchup. Texas is the 6. The point spread, Texas minus 1.5 over under 124.5. Virginia plus 100 on the money line. Texas minus 120. Basically a pick'em game.
Yeah,
this one's going to be a dogfight.
It is, and that's why the ACC in me wants to take Virginia Tech, and I think I'm going to have to do it. Mike Young has these guys playing at such a high level right now. Like, look at the confidence. They beat Carolina. They beat Duke. They have these wins in the ACC tournament. And to think that buzzer beater. Like, if that buzzer beater would not have gone in, they would not even be here.
I know.
Like, that one shot propelled them all the way here. Duke would probably be ACC tournament champions right now if that buzzer beater didn't go in.
Yeah, probably. I don't. God, this is like out of the first round matchups, it doesn't get better coaching wise than Chris Beard and Mike Young.
Yeah, I agree. I think this will be one of the most entertaining first round games. And I mean, obviously VT beat Carolina, so I'm a little salty, but I still have VT here. I like VT.
And Texas, but what scares me about Virginia Tech is championship hangover. Championship hangover is real. They're going to be happy that they just made the tournament.
Does Hunter Couture come out there and shoot 3 for 15?
And Texas is running so under the radar.
Yeah.
But I am going to go with Virginia Tech just because I think Mike Young is just a phenomenal coach. They have so much momentum right now. They're so hot. They're playing right at the right time, peaking at the perfect time. Shout out to us and David Glenn for picking Duke VT in the final.
That was money. We were right on that. As much as it paid me to say, we were right on that.
I would not place real money on this game, but give me VT plus 1.5.
No, I would. I'm not even going to.
Even the over under 124.5. This game
It's a
could
trap.
easily end 61-59.
Oh yeah, it's a trap, 100%.
Okay, let me look here.
Got Purdue next.
Yeah, Purdue versus Yale. Do you have the spread on that one?
I don't. Yeah, I do actually. On the Sports Yahoo page, we got a Purdue minus 15.5, over under 142.5.
Got
Yale
it.
Bulldogs plus 900 on the money line, which should not be touched at all.
Yeah, no, I like Purdue to cover.
Give me Purdue. Give me the points. Yep.
Purdue cover and the over.
Give me Purdue by 50.
I think Purdue. I think whatever Purdue's team total is in this game, take it.
I know Purdue's had some bad losses this year, and right when they seem like they've been doing well, they've had one of those letdown losses. I think they are built for the tournament. I've been saying this for the last 5 months since we started doing college basketball on this show. They are built for this tournament. They're deep. Hey, if their starting center, Zach Edey, gets in foul trouble, guess what? They have an all-conference center, Travion Williams, off the bench to come in. Like, they are built for this run. I really think the talent's there. Spoiler
they're
alert,
in a tough bracket, though.
They are in a tough bracket. If they make it out, they're my pick for the national championship. Still to this day, even though they're a 3 seed.
I love the over because, and I love whatever Purdue's team total is going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be around 79.5.
Yeah.
Purdue scoring 80 points on this Yale team.
Yes, 100%. And
Yale,
I saw a couple.
Yale barely made the tournament this morning against Princeton.
Exactly. And I was looking up some things like, a couple hours before the show, and I was like, oh, what are some cool upset picks people are picking? People had Yale beating Purdue. I was like, no way. Like, that is not an upset pick. Like, I have a 3-14 upset. It is not that. That is not even close.
I don't have any 3-14 upsets, maybe one, but we'll get into that. But this is not it. I love Purdue. Purdue should win. Purdue should win this game 85-60.
Yeah. I love Purdue on the points. Give me the Purdue spread for sure.
So you have them going to the Final Four?
I do. I have them getting out of I have them winning the whole thing. Spoiler alert.
Really?
Right now I do. I'm going to do a little more research. I only did the first round really in depth so far, but my gut is telling me Purdue all the way.
Okay, let's move on. The 7-10 matchup now, game 15 on our board. It is the 7 seed Murray State Racers versus the 10 seed, the San Francisco Dons. The 10 seed is actually favored in this one. -1.5, over under 138.5. San Francisco -120 on the money line. Murray State +100. This is going to be a great game.
This is tough.
I know Nadu was talking about why does San Francisco deserve to be in, blah, 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 blah. San Francisco's good. They got 2 great guards. Bouyer's a stud. Murray State is rock solid, though.
Only 2 losses. You can say what you want to. Competition going into the tournament with only 2 losses is so impressive.
But they're due for a loss. They should have. They almost lost that conference title game.
Yeah, they came out last day of school, and that's the thing. 30-2, riding high. Oh, we only have 2 losses. Oh, we got a San Francisco matchup. We should, they're probably focusing on Kentucky. Like, oh, if we win this, we're going to play Kentucky probably.
Mm-hmm.
I picked San Francisco here. I know they're favored. They're favored. They're favored for a reason.
The only reason they're favored for a reason. You're right. That is a huge indicator. But can't you just see Kentucky versus Murray State in the second round?
Yes, I can. I still like San Francisco here.
I don't like either side in this one.
This is one of those games that is going to be extremely fun to watch.
The over-under is right on the money. 138.5 sounds perfect.
Yeah. I'm still taking San Francisco. I like San Francisco.
70-68 sounds exactly what the final score is going to be.
I would almost just take the San Francisco money line just to, for my non-expert. Yeah, my non-expert gambling advice. Buy a half point. Yeah.
Man.
I don't know. I'll delegate this one to you.
I'm going to flip-flop on this one like 10 times. I said it before the tournament. I'm going to keep my pick. I'm going to go San Francisco.
I like it.
I'm going to go San Francisco. I'd like them to make a run in this tournament. I don't like their matchup if they do win against Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
I don't think that.
I don't think they really have a shot against Kentucky. But
I agree.
I like San Francisco. I love teams that have good guard play in this tournament. If you have good guard play, I'm more than tempted to pick you.
We've said it before that teams go as far as the guards take them.
Okay, let's move on. Last game of the East region, the number 2 seed, the Kentucky Wildcats, are going against the 15 seed, the St. Peter's Peacocks.
That
Kentucky
have
minus,
they?
shout out the Disco Turkeys, I guess.
Yep.
Kentucky minus 17.5 over under 132.5. I'll start off here. I love Kentucky's going to be a super public pick. I think I love Kentucky minus 17.5. I think it's too easy. That's what scares me. I also like the under in this one. I watched St. Peter's versus Monmouth. St. Peter's is awful. And also, Monmouth is awful. Walker Miller is the
Shout out Walker Miller.
Miller is the weirdest player I've ever watched play basketball.
It is crazy to me that he set the
it is
for 4 years at
uncomfortable
Carolina.
watching him shoot.
I can't believe he shoots because I've watched a couple of Monmouth games this year and he shot threes. I'm like, what is going on? He set the bench for 4 years at Carolina and went to
He's
Monmouth.
the focal point of that offense.
That shocks me.
It was the weirdest game I've ever watched and the worst game I've ever watched. I've never seen more missed layups in my life and just dumb foul, dumb play. Kentucky is going to walk in this one.
Give me Kentucky by 30.
I was hoping Duke would get St. Peter's in this one, but give me Kentucky by 30. I kind of like the under there. It's just like St. Peter's plays really hard defense, and I think Kentucky lets up. I think we're seeing. I don't know if St. Peter's scores 50 points in this one.
If you said there's bad, if they're as bad as you say they are, I did not watch that Monmouth game.
It was so bad.
I would almost lean for the under also.
132.5,
65-45.
65-45. Was that the final score of the Carolina Virginia Tech game?
Yeah. I don't even remember. My mind's only on the Duke loss by double digits.
Okay, let's move into the top. Actually, before we do that, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Before we get into the South region, let's talk about the East real quick. I have in my Sweet 16, I'm going with the UCLA Bruins. I still think Baylor beats Carolina. I'm going Baylor, Carolina. I'm going chalk in this one. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Sweet 16.
This one is not chalk for me because not even just coming from a biased Carolina fan, I think Baylor is the perfect 1 seed for us to face. If it was Gonzaga, if it was Arizona, if it was Kansas, I think it's a blowout loss. I think Baylor is the number 1 seed that Carolina as an 8 seed can compete with. I have them advancing to the Sweet 16 and then losing to UCLA. I am realistic. I'm not crazy. I think UCLA comes out on top. And I have Purdue beating Kentucky. I have Purdue and UCLA in the Elite Eight, and then I have Purdue advancing.
I have Purdue, UCLA in the Elite Eight.
And that'll be a game.
I want to pick UCLA to the Final Four.
See,
you know what? I'm picking UCLA to the Final Four.
Oh no!
I said it.
You're going against me.
I said it over a month ago.
You said it. You said you love UCLA.
I wanted UCLA and Purdue in separate brackets. That was the problem with this year's bracket, is because there's a lot of teams I wanted to go to the Final Four, and it just didn't. They're in the same bracket. All of these.
Shout out Bill Walton picking 5 Pac-12 teams last year to go to the Final Four,
and it worked out. Freaking Wayne Tinkle almost took a freaking losing Oregon State team to the Final Four.
Golly. But yeah, I got Purdue advancing out of this one. You can split me and go UCLA. I think it's a toss up there.
So you have Gonzaga, Purdue so far on the left side of the bracket?
That is correct.
Okay. I have Duke versus UCLA. Let's move on to the South region. Arizona versus the winner of Wright State Bryant. Obviously, no spread in this one. Let's say it's Bryant, Arizona. We're not gonna pretend Wright State's gonna win this one. Sprinkle a little Bryant money line, probably like plus 2,500, 3,000, 4,500, whatever it is.
That's fair.
Arizona's gonna walk.
Yeah, I think Arizona. It's not even gonna be close here. I mean, I don't even think a sprinkle, to be honest. I think Arizona is not a strong 1 seed, but I don't think there's no problem. There's no problem here.
If it's Bryant, I like the over, whatever the over is. If it's Wright State, I like Arizona spread.
That's fair. Okay, I like that. You know what? Hey, if Bryant makes it out of the first 4, though, I'm down to throw a little sprinkle. I'll throw a little sprinkle. Okay,
let's move on. 8-9 matchup. This one, it's just another what are you gonna do in this one? It is the 8 seed, the Seton Hall Pirates versus the 9 seed TCU Horned Frogs. Seton Hall is -1.5 on the spread, over under 130.5. Money line -130. I like the Horned Frogs coming out of this one.
Give me the under.
Really?
Give me the under. I did a little research on this one. Let me share with you a stat I found.
62-63 final.
Both teams, Seton Hall and TCU, both rank in the bottom half of adjusted tempo for all D1 teams. And I like the Horned Frogs coming out as well. Second in the country in offensive rebounding. Second. How about that?
I don't hate that. I was having trouble with this one.
Toss me the under.
You're gonna go. Who do you have winning this one now?
TCU for sure.
I have TCU for sure as well. I like this TCU team. They're another team plays with their competition. Like a perfect prime example. They win against Kansas. They lose against Ball Sack State.
Call me crazy. I've been thinking about putting them over Arizona next round. I've been thinking. I don't know. I'm not ready to say. I'm not ready to say definitively.
Do you think you have too many upsets?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna have to go through and siphon out the after the first round, because right now I got Carolina. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I'll stick with Arizona. I have Arizona right now. I've been tossing that one up though.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to go through a little bit more. I have Arizona right now though.
This game we're about to talk about next. This is the one I've been waiting for. Number 5 seed Houston versus 12 seed UAB. We need a spread in this one. It's Houston -8.5 over under.
Oh my gosh.
I don't really care about the total. Give me UAB +8.5 and the money line at +290. Jelly Walker is about to take over this tournament.
They're hot right now.
Jelly Walker is the most electric player in college basketball right now.
They are so hot right now. How are they laying that many points?
Jelly Walker is going to keep it within +8.5. That's one of my favorite picks is +8.5. And then you sprinkle the money line in as well. I have UAB winning this one, and I have them winning kind of handily. I don't like Houston. I think Houston has not played real competition. They haven't won any big games. They haven't won any real. They haven't beat hardly any tournament teams besides Memphis, really.
Yeah, exactly. And they went 1-2 against Memphis. And I'm looking right here. Lost to Wisconsin, lost to Alabama, both tournament teams. They don't have any signature wins. They're 0-1 versus the top 25.
If you want an upset, it comes by 3-point shooting. UAB is 15th in 3-point percentage.
They're averaging 81 points
161.
A game. Yeah, and UAB is averaging 81 points a game.
I love UAB in this one. And, well, I haven't officially picked this yet, but I do think I like UAB in the Sweet 16, but I'll wait for that one. Let's move on to the Fighting Illini, the 4 seed Illinois, -7.5 against the Chattanooga Mocs. Over under is 135.5. Chattanooga with probably the best finish in conference tournament all week.
That was unbelievable.
Tournament week. I mean, that shot was incredible.
It was. Still though, shout out Chattanooga. I got Illinois here on the spread. 7.5. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous on this one. I wouldn't take a spread. I would lean Illinois though. I like -7.5. I don't think they have an answer for Kofi Coburn.
Exactly. That was my entire reasoning. Experience, size.
And I think it was Tate Frazier said this about a couple teams in this tournament, about UCLA and Illinois. It looked like they just didn't care about the regular season. They're just ready for the tournament.
I agree. And hey, let me hit you with another fact real quick. Little numbers here I got. At least one number 13 seed has beaten the number 4 seed in 26 of the 36 NCAA tournaments. And in the past 3 tournaments, 8 of those 12 matchups were decided by single digits, 4 and 13. So I have Illinois winning this one, but for my prior 4-13 picks, just saying.
I really like the over in this one. Chattanooga can score points. I think Illinois is not going to have a problem scoring points against Chattanooga. I think they're going to be able to dominate the paint, and then that opens up the 3-point ball. Give me the over at over 135.5. And let's move on to the most controversial, I think, matchup in the first round. The number 6 seed from the Mountain West, Colorado State versus 11 seed. Not even last 4 in. 11 seed, 17 and 14, Michigan Wolverines.
Frauds.
-2.5 in this game.
Frauds. Frauds. Give me Colorado State money line. I've seen Michigan firsthand. Carolina waxed them. They have been frauds all year long. I cannot believe they're in the tournament, and I don't know how they weren't in the first four. Am I crazy for thinking they should have been one of the last four in?
They should have been the last team in, if that.
I don't even think they should have made it. Like, do they even have like that many quality wins? Like, what's going on here? They beat.
They have a ton of quality Q1 wins. Because the thing is, the Big Ten,
State,
every win's basically a Q1 win, and so, but then they get 9-10 teams in there, and none of them make the Final Four.
But at what point does overall record matter? Like, they're a Power 5 conference. Wake Forest, for example, is in the ACC. They have a better overall record. I know the quad one wins and the Ken, all that. When does it matter?
The non-conference strength of schedule was the difference, they said.
That's fair, I guess.
Because, Wake struggled against VMI. Wake scheduled cupcakes.
Lost to LSU, their only real non-conference game. Wake did.
But, yeah, rest in peace, Wake Forest.
Give me Colorado State money line.
I love Michigan minus 2.5 in this one.
Stop it.
The line tells you everything. The line tells you everything in this one. I don't like Michigan to win this game, but when I see minus 2.5 when they are a 17-14 team as an 11 seed going against the 6 seed, I watch Colorado State in the Mountain West tournament. Colorado State could not do anything against San Diego State. And I think San Diego State is as boring as molasses. I'm going Michigan here. I don't feel great about it, but when you see the lines minus 2.5 in a 6-11 game, when the 11 seed is favored by 2.5, give me Michigan by 2.5.
Is there more underdogs favored in the first round this year than ever before? Or no? Because I've seen 2 or 3 number 10 seeds favored. Michigan's an 11 seeds favored. I feel like that's more than usual.
Yeah, I think a lot of conference tournaments were weird. The fact that Virginia Tech was favored in a 2-7 matchup in the ACC tournament, I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah, no, that was insane. Vegas knows.
Exactly. That's why
Vegas always knows.
That's why I like Michigan minus 2.5. I don't like a total in that game. I'd actually lean under. I kind of like the under a lot in that game. I think it's going to be a dogfight. And also, it's the opener. It's the noon tip off Thursday. Tight points are going to be scarce.
Yeah. The under's fine with me. I'm still going Colorado State.
I think I'm going to go Michigan minus 2.5 and under 139.5 in that one. Oh my gosh. You see that first tip off on Thursday and nothing like
you. It's euphoric.
What's the last game? Hold up. Let me look this up before we move on. I want to know the last game on Friday night. Cause that's a brutal one.
Isn't it? Isn't it Davidson, Michigan State?
Davidson, Michigan State. The Davidson Michigan State game. You
need to watch that one. It's the Duke.
I have to watch it. But 2, luckily, shout out Mountain Time. I'll be on Mountain Time, so
yeah, that's nice. That's
piece of cake.
That's perfect for the NCAA tournament. But I love staying up late personally, but most people.
But Friday night, you had a full day of Thursday sitting there eating terrible food. You ate a whole pizza. You had some ice cream, wings in there.
3 cups of ranch.
If you drink, you had 30 beers. You have tons of Dr. Pepper. It is awful. You have 30 cups of ranch, some garlic sauces on your cheek and stained on your shirt. You have just been through the trenches.
You have 4 Papa John's bread bites left over.
Yeah, it's cold. It's stale.
Dominoes.
Oh my goodness. It's the best time of the year. It's the best feeling ever. You feel terrible about yourself. You're like, man, I should really work out. Diet starts Monday. Doesn't actually start Monday.
Did this just turn into the Fat Guy Minute again? Am I witnessing one of these right now in person? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is Fat Guy Minute for sure. Because NCAA tournament time. Shout out Dylan, because Dylan texts us and goes, all right, I need to start a workout plan. I'm like, you're starting a workout plan during March Madness? Are you high?
That is the absolute worst time to do it.
That Thursday, let me go sit there and eat a salad in the middle of Virginia Tech.
I'll go run on the treadmill while I watch the first round games in the gym. Give me a break.
Exactly. No, you're ordering an obscene amount of food. And then that Friday night, Davidson, Michigan State, your team has already played. Your team's already played. Won or lost. They won. You have a lot of momentum. You have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
You're like, this is awesome. Especially if they won that day, that night. like Duke, if Duke beats Cal State Fullerton, I'm going to be like, all right, like we get to watch this matchup. You have a little more energy.
Yeah.
If Carolina loses to Marquette, that Friday stretch is so tough. And you're looking
It's
at your
tough,
bracket.
but I have time.
Bracket,
I have time to recover.
And but then your bracket's busted. And if you gamble, you're down like 15 units because you took every game. But it's the best time of the year. I would pick it over any Christmas ever.
I can agree with that. That especially the first round, the first couple rounds games, that first opening weekend is insane. Because there's always 3 or 4 games going on the entire time.
It's amazing. It's a must-have 3 to 4 TVs on. If you have anything less than 3 TVs, you're doing it wrong. Go to Buffalo Wild Wings for all I care.
Yeah, do something. Figure it out.
Get off work. Yeah, do what you got to do. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, let's get this going. It's just a nice 2:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, you're getting primetime podcast hours.
Carter Cast After Dark. All right, let's go. The 3rd seed Tennessee, the SEC champs, which they should have been a 2 seed, maybe even a 1 seed. Ridiculous they didn't move up, but you could. If you're a Tennessee fan, you can't complain. You're in the best bracket possible.
No, you are. Give me Tennessee as a 2 seed over Duke, though. I don't know.
Absolutely, I don't think Duke deserved it.
I know you wish you could switch spots right now.
I would do anything to switch spots, but they go against Longwood Lancers. Tennessee's gonna wax them. The spread is minus 16.5, over under 132.5. I would lean over. I don't know if Longwood can score enough points. I like Tennessee minus 16.5. This spread is pretty high for a 3-14 matchup.
Call me crazy.
I think Tennessee wins by 20.
I agree with that take. And I also am going to say Longwood's averaging 76 points a game this year. I know I'm just looking at the numbers right here. 76 points a game seems a little high for a team that ranked that low. I know their competition,
I mean, I'm never afraid to throw an over in there. Maybe I go a little over 132.5.
I'm not too confident. I am confident in Tennessee. Give me the points, though. Give me the spread, I mean.
Yeah, I'm going to take both. I'm going to go over 132.5 and minus 16.5. That's already gone up. I think it's opened at 15.5.
Yeah, I would take that one as soon as possible. Tennessee's going to come out with some improvement, I feel like.
A lot. Tennessee's going to be the popular pick coming out of that region.
Yeah, that will be. And I don't hate that, honestly.
I don't either. But let's move on to the 7-10 matchup. We have the 7 seed Ohio State Buckeyes going against Sister Jean's Loyola Chicago. The 10 seed Ohio State is plus 1.5. Loyola Chicago is favored as a 10 seed. Over under 132.5. I'm going to go Loyola Chicago in there. I mean, how are you going to go get Sister Jean in March?
You cannot go get Sister Jean in March. I'm going to Loyola Chicago. Also, they're favored for a reason. That 10-7 matchup, like it's the second 10-7, the 10 seed is favored over a 7 seed. It's like that for a reason. Like I hate to be that guy, but don't overthink it.
You can't overthink that one either. Ohio State's been terrible lately.
Ohio State I don't even know, like, I feel like 7 is a little high for them anyways, but
yeah, I know. Give me Loyola Chicago. I don't have a 132.5. That game's going to be weird. It's going to be 64. 66.
I would stay away from that.
Yeah, I would stay away from the total as well. Last game in the South bracket, we have Villanova, this 2 seed, versus the Fighting Blue Hens of Delaware, the 15 seed. Nova is favored by 15.5, over under 133.5. That's low for a 2-15 matchup. I think this is going to be the popular pick if anybody's like, oh, I like a 15 seed to win over 2. I think it's Villanova. And superstitious alert, that top right 2-15 matchup is always close.
It is always close. And I wrote down, I was like, give me this 2-15 matchup. If there was a gun to my head and they were like, pick a 15 seed to beat a 2 seed this year, it's this game. But that's not the case. I don't think there's an upset here.
I would take plus 15.5 just because it seems low.
Yeah.
I would go under 133.5 as well.
I don't really have a pick for the over under here. I'm not really.
Those aren't hard plays, but
yeah,
Villanova can't score.
Yeah, and they're just a weird team in general. It feels like it's not a typical Villanova team.
No, and I would be genuinely shocked if we saw Nova in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I'm 100%. I have them beat Loyola the next round, but then I have Tennessee beating them in the Sweet 16. I don't think they make it past the Sweet 16. There's no way.
This is a lame pick, but after watching the Pac-12 tournament, I think Oh, let's go Sweet 16. I have Sweet 16 Arizona versus UAB. Jelly Walker is going to take over the tournament.
I got Illinois beating UAB. I got UAB winning the first round, but I don't think they go farther than that.
And then Michigan versus Tennessee. I have Tennessee in the Sweet 16, and I'll have Loyola Chicago in the Sweet 16 as well.
I got Tennessee coming out of this region, Carter. I do. I know it's the favorite pick. I know people are going to be saying it. I got Tennessee coming out of this region.
Arizona's good. The issue I have right now is I'm going to pick Tennessee, and then I'm scared because I have 2 seed Duke, 4 seed UCLA, 3 seed Tennessee. I need a 1 seed. Spoiler alert, I don't like Kansas coming out. That definitely means Gonzaga is winning that. I do believe Gonzaga is going to win the West region pretty handily.
That's my 1 seed. I got a 1 seed Gonzaga, 3 seed Purdue, 3 seed Tennessee, and then we'll talk about the last one. It's not Kansas, though.
Yeah. All right, let's do Kansas, Texas Southern, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's another late night game too.
Yeah, Kansas
I think that's the last game. I think that's the last game of the Friday night.
Have I seen Kansas Texas Southern before? Am I is that just seemed like a game that's happened like a 116 like 3 other times?
And they keep it tight for the first until the under 12, and you're like,
they're like, oh my gosh,
yeah.
Is this UNC Asheville Syracuse, and they just blow it?
The most rigged game ever.
Oh man, yeah, Kansas here for sure.
Kansas, whatever. I don't know what the over under would be. Don't touch it. That's going to be Friday night. You've already lost a ton of money. Just cut your losses.
Just watch some basketball. Yeah, just calm down.
Exactly. Also, sidetrack. There's that little stretch where there's like one game on that's never actually good. That kind of carries you in between sessions. And there's like
that filler game. Yep.
That filler game that's like a 30-minute break in between. That nap you take during that filler game is unbelievable.
You wake up, you're like, oh God, what time is it?
Yeah, you're like, did I miss the game? And then you're good.
I still got 5 minutes to get that spread.
Yeah, exactly.
Hurry, load.
San Diego State, the 8 seed versus Creighton, the 9 seed.
Give me San Diego State. I don't even care what the spread is. Screw
San
Creighton.
Diego State is -1.5 over under 120.5. 120.5, our lowest total in the tournament.
Give me the over. Give me San Diego State. I can't stand Creighton. They're frauds. I'll never forgive them, and especially in March. God, especially.
You don't like Alex O'Connell?
I don't care. Is he still playing?
Believe so.
Is he contributing?
Believe not.
Okay, there it is. No, screw Creighton. That makes me hate him even worse that he goes there. Oh man, they use that COVID year, I guess.
I think so, but
I think because I remember he transferred there. Yeah. Yeah, screw Creighton. Give me San Diego State for no other reason than that. Honestly, for no other reason besides that.
I was having trouble with this one as well. That over under is so low, and you just want to take it, and I'm gonna take it. I'm going over 120.5.
Why do you think it's that low?
Because San Diego State, their games always finish like 110 at 112 totals.
Guess what the score of this game's going to be? 54-51. And you're going to hate yourself.
No. I don't. If I had to pick a team coming out of this one, give me Creighton because I just hate how San Diego State plays. It's so boring. I went to the BYU San Diego State game. They just play the most boring basketball. They can't shoot to save their lives. That's another thing, too, is I don't like teams that can't shoot in March. If you can't shoot, you're not going to win. Give me Creighton.
Is this the most boring of the 4, the Midwest? Is this the most boring bracket, most boring section of the bracket?
I felt it was the Arizona bracket. Jelly Walker's carrying a big load in that one.
Tennessee, though, Loyola, I mean.
Villanova's boring.
Villanova is boring.
And
that's a tough one.
I actually really like the bottom half of this Midwest bracket.
Bottom half is electric. Top half, snooze fest.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's move on. We have the 5 seed Iowa versus the 12 seed Richmond Spiders. Iowa -9.5 over under 151.5. The spread tells you everything. When these 5-12 matchups, they have a high spread of 9.5.
Yeah.
Everybody and their mother that watches college basketball is picking Iowa in this one, and I see no reason why you would say otherwise.
Oh, I agree. Iowa's been playing great to end the season. Richmond is just like, 5-12. Ooh, 5-12 upsets, scary. Mm-hmm. No, I think Iowa's going to wax them.
Yeah. And over under 151.5. I would lean under.
I do too. I don't think Richmond could put up the points. I really don't. I feel like Iowa plays pretty good defense. Against a team like Richmond, though, I think they could put the clampers on.
Richmond plays so slow. And
they can put the seatbelts on. They put the seatbelts on, Carter. Come on.
And the thing is, even if Iowa's not shooting that well, I still see them winning this game.
By a decent margin.
Yeah, I still see them winning by 5.
Yeah.
9.5 is a lot of points for me.
It is. In my bracket, I obviously have Iowa winning. The points is a little scary. I still think I would take it. I still think I would take -9.5. I think it'll be a double-digit win. See, like that's one of those games that could be like 84-73, like right on the money. You're just like, oh God.
I love this game. This is the one.
Do we have this? We got the same.
Yeah, everybody. If you look at the Vegas lines, this explains everything. The 4 seed Providence Friars versus the 13th seed South Dakota State Jackrabbits. If you're listening to this, you're probably like, oh, Providence probably minus like 6.5, 7.5. Providence minus 2.5, over under 149.5.
That's so high. But
if you look at that spread and you don't take South Dakota State plus 2.5 or the money line at plus 120, you are blind.
I'd sprinkle the money line. Hey, South Dakota State's second in the nation with 86.7 points a game. That is insane.
I love South Dakota State in this one. Plus 2.5 tells you everything about this line. Every square is going to see 4 seed Providence and take Providence minus 2.5.
Yeah.
Providence can't score and South Dakota State can score. Just look at that. If you love shooting in March like me, it's South Dakota State. I love South Dakota State in this one.
This is one of my favorite upsets in my bracket I picked.
And that second round, Iowa versus South Dakota State, might have an over-under of like 165, 170.
Call me crazy. I have South Dakota State beating Iowa in the next round and before getting bounced by Kansas.
I don't hate that either. I don't hate that at all. Because Iowa's a hot pick, and a lot of people like Iowa coming out of this region as a Final Four team. I don't necessarily like them. I don't like 9th-year Jordan Bohannon.
No, and I think Auburn, even if they make it far, Auburn is going to wax them. I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself. I got South Dakota State here.
I got South Dakota State here as well. Plus 2.5 is so low for a matchup like that.
I'd take the money line. You might as well. If you're
plus 1,
that's small of a spread. You might as well.
Though. It does cover like a buzzer beater, which it's March.
That's true. You can say that for every game, though.
Exactly. That's very true. All right, let's move on to 6 seed LSU Tigers versus the 11 seed Iowa State. LSU is minus 4.5 in this one, over under 125.5. I love LSU in this one. LSU minus 4.5 for me. Will Wade being gone. Let's a little NFL analogy.
We're split here. Yeah.
Go ahead. A little NFL analogy. When John Gruden got fired by the Raiders interim coach comes in, they start balling. I think LSU, I think Will Wade might have been the cancer in LSU's locker room. I think these dudes are coming out one or two ways. They're either coming out firing, guns blazing, nothing to lose, everything's on the line, or they're coming out like, we just don't care. We lost our coach and it's over.
That's the take I'm going with. I've got Iowa State here. And here's the thing. You just said you don't like teams that can't shoot in March. LSU is not great from the perimeter.
But is Iowa State?
Yeah.
And another thing is, too, LSU's got some dudes that can just randomly just go toe-to-toe with anybody. They're not scared of anybody, which can also be a detrimental thing. But in March, those are the guys you want.
This is a toss-up because LSU is just so inexperienced. The coach just got fired. I think that's going to backfire. We're split here for the same reason.
You will find out in this game by the under 16 timeout whether LSU is winning by 10 plus or Iowa State's winning. This is a perfect live bet game.
Yeah.
A perfect live bet game. If it's even close in the beginning, you can see LSU's attitude right away. Bam, 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 hit Iowa State.
I like being split here. I like being split on this one.
I'm going LSU. I liked LSU before, and I like him more without Will Wade, to be honest. But let's move on. We only have a few left.
3 left.
3 left. Oh, my goodness. So sad.
We've gone through it quickly. Wisconsin Colgate should be the next one.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not pulling up for me. Do you have the spread? It's not pulling up for me.
I
believe it's Wisconsin minus 7.5. That's not it.
I'm searching for it. I'm searching.
This is phenomenal.
It's not. Oh, it's not on here.
Yeah, it's not on there. What is? Did it get taken down?
Shout out internet connection. I don't know. It wasn't on the Yahoo page we were looking up a minute ago.
Got it. It's Wisconsin minus 7.5. The 3 seed Badgers versus the toothpaste 14th seed Colgate. Over under 139.5. Wisconsin minus 7.5.
I don't know about this one.
If I were to pick a 4-13 seed, 4-13 game, this would be the one I would get.
Really?
14.
3-14.
Gosh, I can't keep on getting them mixed up. I would take Colgate here. I would take Colgate. I like Colgate in the points. I don't like them enough for the money line. I don't like them enough to win this game.
Yeah.
I do like Colgate in the points. And I do like the over. Both these teams can shoot. If Colgate can limit Johnny Davis.
Yeah, I was going to say.
This is Colgate's game.
See, if Johnny Davis struggles, I think Colgate can easily cover. I don't think they're going to come out and win, though. I've already got a 14-3 upset. I've got Texas Tech losing. I pick Wisconsin here, but if I'm picking a team gambling-wise, give me Colgate on the points. But I still got Wisconsin to win, though. I don't think there's an upset here.
Yeah, I like Colgate with the points a lot. Over under, it's more of a lean. It's not a hard play yet.
That's fair.
And last 2 games in Greenville, South Carolina, we have the 7 seed USC versus the 10 seed Miami Hurricanes from the ACC. And USC is -2 in this one, correct?
I think so.
Sorry, the internet's gone. What? Do you have it?
We got USC -1.5 is what I'm seeing.
What's the over under?
139.5.
I like Miami in this one.
I do too. McGusty is disgusting.
That's another team. They got Charlie Moore can light up a game any minute. And also, little side note, USC's coach just got signed to a massive extension. Not worried about his job. Not worried about his job.
Little lackadaisical.
Jim Larrañaga during tournament times, a dangerous dude.
And if Isaiah Wong's been cold the last couple games, he was pretty bad against Duke, like 1 for 10 or something like that against Duke. That's not going to happen again. He's going to come out firing. I think McGusty's disgusting, like I just said. Miami's got the dudes. I think you're right on that. I think you're right on the money.
I like Miami a lot in this game. I don't like them going against a 2 seed. Let's close with the last game.
Yeah.
The 2 seed Auburn Tigers versus the 15th seed Jacksonville State Gamecocks, which is bullcrap. They even made the tournament because the whole Bellarmine thing. Bellarmine's not allowed to play in the tournament because they have some postseason transition rule from going D2 to D1, which makes 0 sense. Why couldn't they just play D1 ball immediately?
I agree with the rule being stupid, but I mean, it's been in place. Like they knew it coming in. It's to prevent teams from like stacking up in D2. I don't know. I get it. I don't agree with the rule, but like it's not like they changed it just for this year. Like it's been in place.
Yeah, they just need to change it, as a matter of fact. Auburn is -16.5, over under 138.5. This is the Brandon Huffman Walker Kessler matchup.
Yep. Shout out UNC alum game, UNC transfer game.
I love Auburn -16.5 here.
I don't think it'll be that close at all. I think Auburn was by 25. Jacksonville State is not good.
Jabari Smith is about to score 30 easily, and Walker Kessler might have
10 blocks.
Yeah.
Dude, we're right on the money. Yeah.
I might have to put a player prop on that one.
Dude, he is about to go off on them.
Okay. Yeah. Sweet 16 in the Midwest region. I have Kansas versus South Dakota State.
Me too.
And then on the bottom half.
Oh no.
The LSU Tigers versus Auburn.
No, I got Wisconsin.
Tiger versus Tigers.
I got Wisconsin, Auburn. I don't believe
in Wisconsin. I don't like Big Ten teams.
I got Auburn coming out, Carter.
And I have chalk right here. Kansas, Auburn. And
I do as well.
Auburn winning.
I do too. I have Auburn going to the Final Four. And I actually have them making the championship game.
So your championship game is Purdue, Auburn?
Yep, and I got Purdue winning.
I have Duke, UCLA, and then Tennessee.
No 1 seeds. That's bold, Carter. That is bold.
I want to pick Arizona so bad. You know
That's
what?
just gross. That's just gross, though.
I know Arizona. I'm gonna go Arizona. I'm gonna flip flop here. Arizona Final Four. It's Arizona, Duke, UCLA, Auburn. Duke Auburn championship game would not be terrible.
No, that would be entertaining. Mark Williams, Kessler would be a great matchup. Jabari Smith, Paulo. That would be a really exciting game to watch.
Duke wins in the title game. Coach K, the reigns. He lifts his 6th title in New Orleans.
That's disgusting.
Realistically, I think Gonzaga wins this whole title. If we're going to be 100% honest.
You think they get over the hump this year? You think this is the year?
Yeah, I mentioned this before in a previous podcast. This is a lot like the 16-17 Carolina ordeal. They lose in the title game the year before that they should have won. They were favored to win.
Yep. Lose Marcus Page, Bryce Johnson, lose some talent. They lost Jalen Suggs.
They lost Jalen Suggs. Yeah, they lose Jalen Suggs, Corey Kispert, Ajayi, or whatever his name was. Ajayi. I can't remember. There's like 3 of those.
But they're reloaded.
And they reloaded. They're back. You're like their guard play like not as good as last year, but it's weirdly like just as good. Carolina, same thing. They had Joel.
It's just not as flashy. It's just not as flashy.
Exactly. So if you want a real pick, Gonzaga is going to win the title. I think Gonzaga might honestly win pretty easily to the title, but I'm picking Duke. You kidding me?
It's fair. I still got Purdue. I'm sticking with it. I know they've had some struggles. I said at the beginning of the year, though, I like Purdue here. They got the depth, got the talent.
Okay, perfect. So obviously, this is instant reaction. A lot could change between now and Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
This won't be official brackets or anything. We'll post our brackets on cartercast.com Thursday morning because we don't want to spoil picks. We don't want to give you our full bracket because you need to come join the CarterCast bracket group. DM us, email us, cartercast8@gmail.com. Go to the contact page on cartercast.com or hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Hit us up if you want to be in a bracket group challenge and winner take all. DM for details. We will get you set up. CarterCast group bracket. Join the tournament challenge. Anything else?
I think that's it for me. I had a lot of fun doing this. It just gets me more excited for the tournament, honestly.
Oh, my goodness. I'm just
going through all these games.
Another thing, too, another little, not fat guy minute, just like watching the tournament kind of thing. That one like AT&T commercial and Buffalo Wild Wings commercial, you're just so sick of once you hit the 7:00 games on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my. If I have to hear Lily one more time.
That's so true.
If I hear, come to B-Dubs for our all-inclusive wings, buy one, get one for the tournament. Oh, my gosh. They have those like cheesy commercials.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every year.
Oh, it's the best. I'm going to feel terrible about myself. Oh, you're going to gain 15 pounds in 4 days.
But it's worth it. It's once a year. It's a treat. You deserve this. You deserve this.
I'm so happy. Also, Tuesday, Wednesday is like a fake tease. It's like the Tuesday of the ACC tournament. It's like, it's the tournament, but it's not the tournament.
It's like, I'll get excited, but like
seeing that court, seeing the music does get the juices flowing.
It does.
But then once you get to the under 12 timeout, you're just like, all right. It's kind of like the preseason football game. That first preseason football game, you watch the first drive, you're like, oh,
and the starters are out there. Yeah,
6 minutes left in the first quarter. You're just like, oh, I can't watch this.
Will Greer's about to throw another interception,
another pick six. Perfect. Well, awesome. Make sure to check out all of our social media at CarterCast. Follow us on Twitter at Connor_Sparrow at CarterBA. Check out cartercast.com. You know the whole deal. Full video podcasts on there. Check us out on YouTube. Articles coming out. We're going to have a ton of articles coming out this week for the tournament. Ton of previews, picks, you name it. We got it for you. Check it out. cartercast.com. Subscribe, rate, and review. And we will see y'all Friday. Happy March Madness to everyone.
Happy March Madness.
Bye.